it's a positive film. It has heroes and villains, and that it essentially is a fun movie to watch. It's been a long time since people have been able to go to the movies and see a sort of straightforward, wholesome, fun adventure.
Well, it's a fantasy. It's not science fiction so much as it is space fantasy. And it's about people. It's finally about people and not finally about science.
The story, when you actually put it into words, is only so much nonsense to hang a great visual experience onto. It's the stuff that fairy tales are made of.
Sort of boiling down religion into a very basic concept. The fact that there is some deity or some power or some force that sort of controls our destiny works for good and also works for evil.
Marvellous, healthy innocence. Great pace, wonderful to look at, full of guts, nothing unpleasant. I mean, people go bang bang and people fall over and are dead, but, no horrors. A sort of wonderful freshness about it, kind of like a wonderful fresh air.
It's got whatever you want it to be. It's pure entertainment. It's like a roller coaster ride, and it can be interpreted as long as you enjoy it, which is the intention.
Hello and welcome back to Generation Skywalker. I'm Dan and you are listening to episode 24 of The Modern Way, Generation Skywalker's regular dive into the world of modern Star Wars toys and collectibles. And to help me make sense of all of the news and announcements, we have got Mr. Craig Spivey.
Good evening. How you doing?
All good, mate. All good. And Mr. Peter Lee.
Hi, Dan. How you doing?
Very well.
Good, good.
Mr. Jez Allinson.
Buongiorno. How you doing?
Been to Italy, haven't you?
Yeah. It's been great.
When you was going around that lake that was in Attack of the Clones, were you creeping your wife out with your Anakin Skywalker impersonations?
No, I was just in my own little bubble, just absorbing it all and loving it.
Stroking her back and giving her strange looks and...
Yeah, it's not that kind of show. Move on, ask me another one. But it was great. It was amazing.
And we've got someone else. So it's really odd, actually, because for the last 3.5 years, he's been introducing me on the podcast, and for the first time ever, I get to introduce him. It's Mr. Stuart Skinner.
Lord Stuart Skinner. Hello, mate. You all right?
Lord Stuart Skinner. Stuart, what's your top 5 Twi'leks?
Wow. Blue, yellow, green, orange, and purple.
I didn't say colours.
Well, they are my favourite Twi'leks. I can't narrow that down. Rock on.
So it has been, I don't know, what's it been, 7 or 8 weeks, I think, since we recorded the last Modern Way. And not a huge amount have been announced. I think there was nothing really announced in June or all of May after the double whammy of Celebration and then May the 4th. But in the recent weeks in July, we've had a ton of announcements because of San Diego Comic-Con. But before we get onto that, let's go around and see what everyone has been buying. So let's start with Craig. What have you been up to, Craig?
So we still count things from 1995 as modern, don't we? Until someone reclassifies that era. So if we are going with 95 being modern, I bought a very random vinyl model kit that was made by a company called Polydata. And I remember these things being advertised in the official magazine, the Star Wars official magazine. So it's from that era when the Power of the Force came back round and they produced a set of kind of key characters, hot toy size, simple little model kits, kind of Kotu, Bukia sort of style, not a lot to them, you just stick the arms and the head on basically. But yeah, I bought a Princess Leia to go with some of my little Princess Leia bits and pieces, and I did an unboxing and I put that out today, so if people want to go and check that out and see what the heck I'm talking about, little unboxing of that obscure vinyl model kit line from the mid-90s. But that's it, that's all I bought really.
You did another unboxing, though.
I did do another unboxing. You're right. I forgot about that. I did the bunker, the Hasbro Endor bunker, which I bought because I thought the floor panels matched up to the prop that I own and occasionally talk about, and they didn't. They didn't. It was a little bit of a flight of fancy on Hasbro's part, because the bit in question, when you look at the movie, which we did at some length when we did the commentary, it's a concrete base. So sort of slight anomaly. So I bought one without the figure to sort of have. I had all intentions to sort of do a little bit of customization on it and just weather it up a little bit. I bought some of that fake grass that modelers use to sort of enhance the foliage on the roof. But I got it open and it just wasn't right. So back in the box it went. It's going on eBay when I get 5 minutes.
So I don't think there's any of those play sets they've brought out in recent years. You know, the Tantive and the Carbon Freeze Chamber. I think we haven't given any of those positive reviews once we've had them in hand even. No,
it had potential because it's a chunky looking thing, but you know, it doesn't do a fat lot apart from the doors open. Be great for diorama if you're not fussed about screen accuracy. What a nerd.
Oh, very good. What about you, Pete? What have you been up to? You been buying anything, or is it raining too much?
It's obviously been raining because I haven't bought anything. Well, I think we may have mentioned them before. I know you bought them as well. The Matt Ferguson print turned up.
Yeah.
You know, the Jedi 40th anniversary that eventually turned up. I haven't opened it up yet, but I'm looking forward to it because I think people have seen them online or mentioned online, have said how rich that looks and how good the colours have come through, and the printing is
so much better in person than it is on the screen. You wait till you open up; it is impressive.
Yeah, one day I'll sort of get those all framed. I've got the Empire one as well, but they sort of, I'm getting the Empire one out and they look great. So yeah, we'll get that out as well. But that's it on the modern front. Spending too much on vintage at the moment.
Right, you, Stu?
It's been ages, isn't it, since I've been on here? So it's modern. There's a lot, but I'm just going to whittle it down to the two areas. Tiki, I have added the Sandcrawler, the TIE Fighter, Emperor's Royal Guard, Biker Scout, 3 little Grogu Muglet type things. So still delving into the Tiki. And Hot Toys, I've had 2 arrive this week. The Luke Bespin and Fennec Shand are finally in hand. Still in boxes at the moment, but they will be out of the boxes by Christmas. But come on, Hot Toys, do a size Snoodles for me.
Talking of Hot Toys, what did you get, Jez? No clues there.
Well, I've not been buying. There's been nothing available for me out there, and I haven't had a great deal of spare time to go shopping. However, yes, like Stu, like you, Dan, my first Hot Toy has arrived, which is, like you, the Luke Bespin. I'm really, really excited. I've had it in my possession for, 18, 19 days. I've not had the time to open it yet. Might happen tonight whilst we're recording. I can't wait.
Very good, Jez. So Luke Bespin might be making an appearance tonight.
Yeah, maybe.
Very good. Well, I haven't had too much. I got for my birthday. I've had a birthday and Father's Day since then. I got what did I get? I got a Power Droid Geeki Tiki for my birthday, and I got a Obi-Wan Kenobi Geeki Tiki for Father's Day. Got a Clone Commander Cody Lego helmet for my birthday, and I treated myself to a couple of Hot Toys. I've got the Luke Bespin. I've unboxed that, and the Luke Skywalker from the Mando, and I've unboxed that, and unboxings are both up on YouTube. So yeah, I had no Hot Toys for 7 months and then got 2 in a week. So how's that? Lots of good stuff to talk about now though. So there hasn't been a huge amount of news, like I said at the start, through May and June. July feels like things have started to pick up a bit of steam again. But before we start talking about toys, should we talk about TV? Because we like what goes on and up on the screen with Star Wars as well as the toys. And there's a new trailer, Jez.
Yeah, exciting new trailer.
War is inevitable. One must destroy in order to create. We are no Jedi.
I started hearing whispers of Thrawn's return as heir to the Empire.
What happens when we find Thrawn?
Power, such as you've never dreamed.
I've spent most of my life fighting a war. That's why I'm trying to convince you to help me prevent another one.
You and I both know who could help you with this.
She's still just as stubborn as ever.
I bet your master found you difficult at times.
Anakin never got to finish my training. I walked away from him, just like I walked away from Sabine.
You never made things easy for me, Master.
As a Jedi, sometimes you have to make the decision no one else can. But I'm counting on you to see this through.
Nice haircut. Sometimes we have to do what's right, regardless of our personal feelings.
Buckle up.
If we don't stop Thrawn, everything will be in vain. You have no power.
Anakin spoke highly of you.
I'm not here to discuss my past.
We have a lot of work to do.
Once a rebel, always a rebel.
Warrior, outcast, rebel, Jedi. Yeah, Ahsoka is coming to Disney Plus on the 23rd of August 2023, which is actually, how long ago do you think Ahsoka was first introduced to us in the Star Wars world? Just throw it out there.
Like 2008?
Yeah, it's exactly that. It was August the 15th, 2008, when the first animated The Clone Wars film came out. So 15 years Ahsoka has been in the hearts of some Star Wars fans. This is a character created by Dave Filoni, worked with George Lucas for, as I said, The Clone Wars. And from then on, remained, in animations. You're talking Clone Wars TV shows, Rebels, and then you're looking at, as well as Rebels, it goes into other areas as well. So you've got Tales of the Jedi, you've got Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, which is obviously having gone from animation then to live action. But what this is doing, this is what's got so many people so excited, because Ahsoka Tano, initially voiced by Ashley Eckstein, was such a popular character, remains hugely popular for such, the next generation and this generation as well in so many respects. More and more people have now sort of getting behind this after a little bit of vitriol when she first came out from some areas. But lots of anticipation, because finally, the Rebels animated TV show and all the much loved characters which were introduced to us in Rebels now getting a live action treatment. So much anticipation for upcoming enjoyment. So this trailer came out. We had the first teaser at Celebration. Yeah, that's been spoken about and that looked great. But this then, the proper trailer came out 2 weeks ago. And since then, there's been loads of sort of fan edits and all sorts of stuff. It's all over social media, all over YouTube. So many people having a go. And there's lots of very good videos on StarWars.com with Ahsoka background and, Filoni talking about it in the sort of build-up. Let's talk about the synopsis very briefly. So this is set after the fall of the Empire. So post-Jedi, and it follows a sort of former Jedi Knight or trainee Jedi Ahsoka Tano as she investigates an emerging threat to our vulnerable galaxy. And actually, from a specific point of view, this is set during the 3rd season of The Mandalorian. So yeah, Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau's vision. This storytelling is due to be epic. It really, really is. What have you guys thought of the trailer?
No, I think it looks brilliant. I can't wait. I've really enjoyed, of everything we've had. Mandalorian's my favourite. But I think there's a lot of familiar faces coming back in this one. If you're into Rebels and your Clone Wars, I think it could be good. It looks like they're tying in a lot of the stuff from Heir to the Empire as well, with Thrawn being back in there.
Yeah.
I think it says the line in the trailer, if Thrawn is the heir to the Empire, so that looks very exciting.
Yeah.
Worth mentioning the actor he's playing kind of, I don't think he is a Sith. Ray Stevenson, he passed away not long after Celebration, so
yeah.
We've already lost him, so that's a shame.
So this is the character Balin Skoll. Now, so he's there, and it appears that he's with a sort of sidekick or maybe apprentice, Shin Hati, and they come out with the lines, "We are no Jedi," which is actually the same line which Ahsoka comes out with in the animated TV shows. Yeah, an orange lightsaber rather than a red one. So is he a Sith? Not really sure. Is he just a rogue? Was once a Jedi. So apparently this character, Balin, is a surviving Force-sensitive Jedi from who managed to escape Order 66 and may have just, very much like Ahsoka in her own right, gone on a different path, gone on a little bit rogue. And who's to say that this orange, almost red lightsaber is just, a Jedi who's just on the edge, and you see it because you see duels between these characters. But I think it seems really good now that we're moving away from the binary aspect of you're a goodie or a baddie. You're a Jedi or a Sith. So yeah, lots of things to come out with this. Lots of interest. August the 23rd, double episode. So 2 episodes of what apparently is an 8-episode series. Yeah, I'm really excited about this. I think that there's going to be so much, and it's hugely going to be world building without bringing in too many spoilers or anything like that. There's lots of elements and elements which we saw in Rebels, which when you look really, really closely and do a little bit of analysis in this trailer, you'll see I think it's extremely well done. Or that's what we're getting from the trailers. But then again, Lucasfilm excel at trailers, don't they? And sometimes some of the actual, what we're presented with ultimately falls slightly short. But from what I see with this, I'm really, really excited. For those people who don't know a great deal about it, well, there's plenty of things that you can watch to get yourself prepared for it. As I said, we've spoken about the Clone Wars and stuff like that. But if you really, really wanted to, Clone Wars Season 5, Episode 20, The Wrong Jedi, would be a good one to start with. Season 7, Episodes 9 to 12, it's the Siege of Mandalore arc. Again, that would be very good for you. And then Rebels. Rebels Season 1, Episode 15 is Fire Across the Galaxy. Season 2, Episode 18 is Shroud of Darkness. And then Season 2, Episodes 21 to 22, which is Twilight of the Apprentice. So this is someone, ultimately, if you think about this, telling the story of a character who was trained by arguably one of the greatest Jedi Knights in the galaxy, Anakin Skywalker. This is going to be epic. Oh, I haven't mentioned Rosario Dawson being the actress. After that, moves on to Rebel Season 4, Episode 15, Family Reunion and Farewell. The big part of it, and where you get to see kind of where Ahsoka's going to go at the end of Rebels. But there's so many other things. There's all the seasons throughout the Clone Wars that you could watch, and the Tales of the Jedi, Episodes 1, 5, and 6 are the ones. They're not crucial, but they'll just give a little bit more of Ahsoka's backstory. And as I say, Rebels Season 2 and 4, there will be an essential Ahsoka sort of watching chapter, I'm sure, in Disney Plus. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of chat about this, and I will be strapping in.
I'd also add the Heir to the Empire books to that list, Jeff.
Oh, right, for the Thrawn element. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's all about Thrawn for me. I mean, when were those released?
91, 92.
Yeah, I mean, that's go back a long time, but that was a great character when he was introduced, and to see him in live action is going to be great. And knowing where they're kind of heading with this, the whole Mandoverse and the movie, this is not the first live action TV show that's coming out on the back of that news. So I anticipate that, like you said at the start, there's going to be some world building, and it's going to be going somewhere. There's going to be payoff to all of this.
Yeah, so I don't know, Craig, if you watch much of, I don't think any of us much talked about it, the Bad Batch second season. You have to forgive me because I can't remember the name of the location, but in Heir to the Empire, where the Emperor's got all of his arsenal in the mountain.
Was it Wayland?
Yeah, so that features quite a bit in Bad Batch. I'm wondering if that's going to tie back into it for this series, and whether or not this Ray Stevenson character is going to be a stand-in for the Jedi out of Heir to the Empire as well. Maybe he could be is it Joris Searboth?
Yeah.
That would be that's my speculation anyways. It's probably nothing to do with any of that, but that's kind of what I've got going on in my head at the minute.
Speculation's good.
Yes, exciting times. Hope it's good. I always hope it's good. Fingers crossed.
They've said you don't need any of the history as well, haven't they? I think Filoni actually came out and said that if you're just going to watch it stand alone, you don't need that. And obviously it'll add a hell of a lot to it, but it'll be interesting to see how they do explain it. Because I've got friends who don't watch or aren't as invested in Star Wars as we are, and they just don't. They're just like not on. They're on board with it because obviously she's been introduced in other series, but they are a bit like, what's this all going to be about? So it'll be interesting to see how they play it. But I'm doing Rebels now for the first time, and it is fantastic. I tried Clone Wars too many times and couldn't get on board, but Rebels is really good. Really enjoying that at the moment.
Any thoughts, Stu?
Can't wait. It's what it's going to be the best one yet. And I love Mando.
Something's coming. Something dark. I sense it.
So kind of sticking with the theme of Ahsoka, we've had San Diego Comic-Con. I think it kicks off on the 17th or the 18th of July and ran through to the 23rd. And there is a number of announcements that we're going to be talking about as we walk through this and all the exclusives. But the big news to come out of the Hasbro panel was that there is a new Haslab. I'm going to hand over to Craig for this. I can't contain my excitement.
There is a new Haslab project that has been announced at San Diego for the Vintage Collection Ghost. And I think that's how to do a launch of a Haslab project. So they did it live with a captive audience. All the relevant media were in attendance. There was an opportunity to showcase it in the flesh on the show floor afterwards. So in terms of sort of getting that impact, getting that initial momentum just out of the gate, you can't fault them for that. So for those who aren't familiar with the Ghost, first appeared as Harrison Jewler's ship in Star Wars Rebels and is set to feature heavily in the new live action show we've just been talking about. And if you can't picture it, think of a squared off Millennium Falcon with a cockpit in the corner. It shares some DNA. It's clearly made in Corellia. And this toy is huge. It's 87.5 centimetres long. It's 77 centimetres wide, and it's about 33 centimetres tall. So it's bigger than the Razor Crest and the big Falcon that came out a few years ago. And I think you're going to need a very, very deep shelf to display this. There's a lot of volume to it. It's not long and thin like the sail barge. So yeah, it's going to be an investment in not only money but space. In terms of the design of it and the deco, it's been created to reflect the live action ship more than it's been created to reflect the animated one. And I watched a few videos. The one on display in San Diego was still a work in progress, but I'm sure that the images that are out there are pretty accurate to kind of how it's going, and they've worked very closely with the design team at Lucasfilm to kind of get those details right. And it's got all the retractable bits and removable panels that you'd expect. But for me, I think the coolest features, the Phantom, the little shuttle that sort of sits on the top, and it's got Chopper the droid's head sticking out. So it's it's tricked out. It's pretty tricked out. There's a lot of cool stuff. The ship comes with an exclusive carded hero figure who comes with a blaster, and she comes with her Calicori, which is the little family totem pole type thing that Thrawn kind of deduces a lot about her and her personality and her background from, because we know he likes to study the art of his adversaries. And also, one of the accessories, who can remember this question from our craft beer event at Celebration? What was the fruit called that featured in a number of episodes? Anybody?
I can remember the question.
You should all know this. It's a male.
I wasn't there, so I can't. And I've seen the show, but that long ago, I can't remember.
I think Chrysanthemum comes with one as well. They're clearly getting their money's worth out of that mould. So yeah, it comes with a little kind of space melon. So like all these things, there are some tiers should the backing exceed beyond the ship alone. So tier 1 is a carded Ezra Bridger, and that's going to trigger at 11,000 backers. Tier 2 is a carded Kanan Jarrus, which will trigger at 14,000 backers. And the third tier is a carded Zeb, which will trigger at 17,000. And all of these figures are the live action style, but the card art features the animated style mural that I believe features in the show. It was a big display at Celebration, and I think they rolled it out again at San Diego. So how much does all this cost? I know you're thinking. So you can order this at HasbroPulse.com. It is available in the UK through the UK site, and it's priced at £499.99, and they are limited to 5 per customer. So this is going to run till September the 7th, about 5 a.m. September the 7th. So you've got, where are we now? July, August, September. So a few weeks yet to kind of get yours ordered, and it's set to be delivered, the final thing, delivered to our doorsteps no later than December 2024. I'm not sure how that compares to the Razor Crest and how people were waiting on those. But the good news is, and there's been a lot of noise about this online, it's reached its goal already. It reached its goal of 8,000 backers within 91 hours of its launch, which is great. And I think, everybody involved is going to be very pleased with that, because, as we're going to discuss tonight, it looks like they're going all out for Ahsoka when it comes to the merch. So this is a really good kind of showcase, flagpole, tentpole piece to be launching and getting people excited about. So as it stands, putting this together, which is, so we're recording on the 26th of July, it's currently 8,417 backers with 42 days to go. Is that everything everyone needs to know?
I think that about covers it, Craig. Are you buying one?
Am I buying one? No, they'll probably blow it up after season 1.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, because it's in Rise of Skywalker, so I think it'd be all right.
It is. That's a really good point. Yeah, I might get it because it's in Rise of Skywalker. That's my favourite.
The size is worrying. Cause when you look at the box for the Razor Crest, a lot of people comment on how small the box is, and you're like, wow, is that all it is? But the wings actually come off the side of it, and it all breaks down. But I can't see with that how you can break it down to any smaller size than what it is. So I think it's going to come in a massive box. I think the postage is £10 on top of the 500 as well. And yeah, it's whether I think if all of those figures get triggered, then I think the numbers will start to skyrocket, because there's a lot of people out there who'd want those figures, who are completists on Vintage Collection, 3-4 brand new figures that no one's got, and that will be the only way to get it. I think they'll be clambering for those. But they did add some extra onto with the Razor Crest. Towards the end, they added the stand on, and I think they added that Elder Jawa, so they did add another figure to that. So they may well add whoever the missing character is. Is it Chopper or?
It's Sabine, isn't it?
Is it Sabine?
Well, we don't know how it's configured on the TV show, do we? Well, that's certainly the Rebels.
Yeah, so they may well add more to it if it does well. I mean, it can't be tracking that far off of the Razor Crest. I think the Razor Crest, the initial target for that was 6,000 and not the 8 for the Ghost. So it would have probably funded at I don't know when it got to 6,000, but I bet it was a day or two before that. So probably on track with what the Razor Crest was doing at the start.
Plus, you're going to have a lot of new fans coming on board, aren't you? For
watching the show, yeah.
Watching the show, you're going to get a lot of people coming onto it, and they'll push it again big time, won't they, once that's out. Yeah. And
I got a suspicion that these cards will probably be... I think these characters will come out anyway. I have a suspicion that these cards, because they're the sort of mural backing, which was at the end of Rebels, and so it's almost like a character drawing of the characters, but from that particular painting, which is at the end, the final season. So I think they'll probably bring the characters out. It won't be a lost opportunity to have a Zeb, I wouldn't have thought, or a Kanan, but I just think they'll come out on different non-exclusive card backs.
People want those card backs though, Jez.
Yeah, of course they do. Yeah.
And you will get people buying this and flogging the figures and probably selling them for what the ship cost.
Yeah. All right.
It was amazing when the Razor Crest come out. The money that all of a sudden it jumped up to, it's just crazy. It was insane.
Yeah, but now they're hanging around a little bit, aren't they? So when this first happened and it was the sail barge, I don't think people quite realised what a sort of cash cow money maker that would be, and the value shot up. And then when the Razor Crest came out, loads of people going crazy for them, but they're not selling now for a huge profit. No. I don't think. Anyway, I think a lot of people were buying them for an investment, so it's now gone over. It's achieved its goal. Brilliant. But that's a big ask to over double, to complete all of tiers. So I think there might be, as you say, a little bit of sort of tier jiggery pokery. All right, well let's put it out there. Any of you guys buying this?
At the minute, no. Maybe change my mind once I've seen the show, but at the minute it's a firm no. I haven't got £500 to say goodbye to for 12 and a half months, or was it 18 months before we get our hands on it. So I will no at the point.
For a meter cube box as well, which is probably what it's going to be.
I find that hilarious, the packaging, because the postage, right, plus £10 postage, amazing. Celebration charged me £15 for a couple of tickets. This is brilliant. Who's your postie? I think that's excellent value for money. And there was just one other thing which I mentioned, which I've seen so many people complaining about online. Yes, in Europe and for those countries which can't get it, unfortunately, but in Europe and the UK, we always get sort of shafted with regards to price, and people are like, oh, it's $499, it's £499, this is obscene. Yeah, but it's £499, which includes VAT. Yeah. Whenever things are advertised and whenever we talk about the price comparison in the States, we don't talk about whatever state added tax there is. So that needs to be taken into consideration. I did see one thing online where someone said, oh, with tax and postage, I'm now looking at $600, which does bring it a little bit closer to what we're paying, just for a bit of balance.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Stu? Are you interested in this?
It's beautiful. It is great. But, no. Not for me.
It's great. It's lovely to see people getting excited about it, though, isn't it? After the last two failed attempts at Star Wars Haslab to get one that's finally funded and people are talking about and buzzing about and not complaining about.
Rebels has always had a massive following, though, hasn't it? There was always a big core fan base for that show. So, for them, this is incredible. It's a great piece.
You called this back in early in the new year, didn't you, Dan? I remember you saying you just knew it would be the Ghost.
It's the one that everyone's been talking about. When people kind of had their wish list, the Ghost was always at the top. There's a lot of younger people in those vintage collection groups, and that was kind of their wish. And I suppose a lot of them, you think that show was out, 10 years ago now? If they were 10 watching it, they're 20, 25 maybe watching it now.
Pete,
this must be like a dream come true for them.
You say that, Pete, but I have heard Dan say about 50 different items. It's going to be that, because he hedges his bets and then makes out his...
What else did I say it was then? What else?
You thought it was going to be a...
There he goes.
You thought it was going to be... what do you call it? Like a lava set from Revenge of the Sith.
Did you see the really bad Photoshop? Do you want Village?
Yeah. You got caught out by that, Craig. Did you get caught out by that, Craig?
Do you know what? I was looking at my phone. I had my glasses on, and I was like, and behind the scenes at Generation Skywalker, there's a little bit of a kind of like, it's kind of nice to be the first one in there to get in the group, And I went, oh, heck, there it is. It's the what village. And then as soon as I sent it, and then I looked at it in the thread, and I thought, oh, that's terrible Photoshop.
The trees were right to the top of the aquarium.
It's all coming out the glass.
You could see through the trees at the bottom.
In my defence, I think it came from somebody, I forget who posted it, but it was somebody who's quite reputable. It was clearly hoodwinked as well, because their comment was, it's been announced and it's the village. So I kind of read that more than looked at the picture. But, yeah.
People want an Ewok village collection, Ewok village.
That'd be amazing.
Quite excited by
it did look good,
It'd be an amazing thing. I would be well into that.
The terrarium started shipping from Celebration, and I saw an unboxing of that today, and that looks amazing.
What's that? The Ewok village in a terrarium, is it?
Yeah. It's like a little shrunk down vintage version. It looks really good. But we digress.
We do. So none of us at the moment are getting the Ghost as it stands, but let's see if that changes by the time we've recorded the next episode. I reckon Stuart's going to have ordered 2.
Can I give you a Hot Toys update?
Go on in.
Yeah, so the shipper box has been opened. Wonderful. Thank you very much. The good, the bad, and the robots, who I ordered it from. Nice little thank you note in there. Beautifully pristine inside. Nice protection. And even... I'm talking about this because I know that Peter is on the cusp of buying his first ever Hot Toy. He's so close to it. And the experience which I'm getting right now from looking at this and starting to open it, just incrementally, it's already money well spent, and I've not even got out of the box, Peter. It's lovely.
I hear how excited he's getting. You sound like one of those people called who whisper into the microphone and rub their fingernails over all of the mic head. What was that called?
AMSR or something.
Yeah, I reckon you're getting a bit aroused, Jez, by the sounds of it.
I'm pleased that you think I'm on the cusp, Jez. I'm pleased that you can live with that.
Okay then, announcements. So yeah, like I keep saying, loads of announcements at San Diego Comic-Con, but let's kick off with Black Series, Pete, and do you want to take us through that?
Yeah, I can run through these. The cardboard packaging is gone. I think Craig covered this in quite a bit of depth on the last show, but the U-turn has happened, and all the new announcements and finished boxes they've shown already have got the plastic windows are back. So let's kick off. We've got a couple of Target exclusives to start. We've got the Darth Vader from Jules End, which looks fantastic. I haven't seen it obviously in the flesh, but just looking online, that sculpt looks incredible of the helmet and the face. So it's Vader at the end of the duel when he's taking a bit of a beating off Kenobi. But yeah, it looks really outstanding. I expect this is on your wish list, Dan.
I've sworn off Black Series, but yeah, I'll wait till I see that one in person.
Yeah, that's looking pretty good. And also along sort of Target exclusive, you've got Commander Appo, one of the clone troopers, who is also in Kenobi. I haven't sort of had a look exactly where he is, but those two are Target exclusives. And then also with Obi-Wan, so I guess this finishes out the Obi-Wan run, which they've done 19 now. These next two will bring it to 19 in total for Kenobi. So you've got Qui-Gon Jinn, which is the Force Spirit. So they've done it in a similar style to the Jedi Spirits 3-pack they've just done with Anakin, Yoda and Obi-Wan, which I think is just about to ship, I think. They came in the sort of the retro Jedi packaging. This is just coming in a regular Black Series packaging, but it looks pretty good. They had the first 3 at Celebration, so it seems to have this sort of mesh cloak they put on top. So I think there's sort of a regular sculpt, and then they put this sort of purple mesh on top, which gives it the sort of the ghost effect, which does seem to work. I haven't seen them in hand. Feels a little bit too purple. Maybe it should have been a bit of a lighter blue, or to give it a proper film or like screen accurate view. But I think they look pretty good, and the first 3 in the Jedi boxes looked good. So you've got Qui-Gon, and then you've got Obi-Wan as well. So that's from the end of Obi-Wan, the series as well. So he's coming packed with lightsaber goggles, and he's got the T-16 Skyhopper, which obviously ends up with Luke at the end. So yeah, this looks really good. The sculpt looks fantastic, and the accessories really look good. The likeness of Ewan is incredible. I know they're sort of doing this by computer, but it is spot on how this looks. So yeah, they are both available for September, and pre-orders are up now. Then you have we've got the PulseCon exclusive, which is Starkiller and 2 Stormtroopers. So this is Hasbro PulseCon is on 22nd of September. So whether, I don't know what the history of these are, or whether any of the sort of regular suppliers get these, I'm not sure, but well worth going to fandom.com. They've got a really good write-up of this set. So yeah, it comes with Starkiller, who has never actually been in any sort of the Star Wars movies or TV series, but he's a big fan favourite from the sort of multimedia universe. He's been included two games. He's in novels, comics, in various toy lines as well, and a role-playing game supplement as well. So you get him and 2 Stormtroopers.
I really like that. I love that game. I love both of those games, and I think that's a nice set. I just don't like the price, to be quite honest with you.
No, I don't know about the sterling prices, but it's got $111 is where I found it on that fandom.com. I don't know if it's got a UK release or whether they ship these or not, but
yeah, I think now they've got it on. I know they've got Pulse going, and the Hascon's gone on for a few years now. But I think now they've got Pulse, you will only be able to get this on Pulse. I'm pretty sure of that, because I think the last one they did was last year they done an Emperor, a vintage collection Emperor with the window behind him. I think it came with a Luke and a Vader as well.
Yeah.
In a box. That was. I think maybe there was some stuff left at the end that went to some of the other retailers, but off the bat you'll only be able to get this on Hasbro Pulse.
Yeah, so is that packaging similar to previous sort of...
I don't know if they've done Black
Pulse
Series before. I can't remember. I know they've done vintage collection stuff, and it's been in a fancy box.
Yeah, so again,
I've not seen a box like that before.
Yes, I know. I guess it's an exclusive, but again, they're going completely... After they've gone back to Windows, they've gone completely back. This is the first, it's coming in that same season with a box again. I guess it's the set, but or whether that was all well and truly in the pipeline before they made the U-turn. But yeah, we shall see. So that'll be interesting. That one's coming out. Then we go over to the San Diego Comic-Con. The panel reveals holiday editions. Oh my god, I don't know what to say about all of these. I don't think I was on the show when I listened to you guys talking about these before. They're just doing Christmas this year, so obviously the Halloween ones previously haven't worked. But they've gone for it. They are doing, they've got 6 holiday specials in the sort of Black Series lined up. So they're obviously selling, they've obviously worked incredibly well for them in the past. So, and they're all US store exclusives as well, so I expect they will all filter through to other markets. But you have got the holiday edition Jawa, and he's in a bright red Santa outfit, and he's coming with a salacious crown, which is kind of just the first thing you look at, it just reminds me of the Grinch. So that's a pretty bizarre one. You've got a white Ewok with a green hood, and he's coming with a little white Porg, and there's a red gift box in that set. You've got a Mandalorian who is in bright blue and looks like the blue Power Ranger, and that's also coming with a little gold and Zealand figure. You've got a Purge Trooper, which is, I don't quite know how to describe that, but the first thing, it reminds me of those sort of German, the really traditional German figures. I think they're based on, is it the Nutcracker Soldiers?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's coming with that, and that comes with, it's got like a tan coloured mouse droid packed in with that. And then you've got KX Security Droid, which is the sort of the K2SO style droid, but he's in all white, and he's got sort of little red and green deco on his shoulders, and there's a little BD-1 figure that's coming on there. It's one of the press shots. He's got him doing a handstand, and he's got the BD-1 figure resting on balancing on his foot, which is just pretty bizarre. And then you've got the Snowman Trooper, which has got to be the worst of the lot, which is quite saying something, considering these are pretty out there.
Pete, Stuart's going to be freaking army building these. Stuart, what ones have you pre-ordered, mate, if you haven't ordered the set?
But this Snowman one is it's like Wurzel Gummidge. He's got like a drawn on sort of carrot nose. It's just like, what? Where are we going with these? But they're obviously, there's 6 of them, and they obviously have worked. Is this the 3rd year they've done these?
Yeah, I think so. Stuart's the expert on these. Come on, Stu, chip in.
Yeah, because they're fun. They're fun for Christmas. So you boys missed the point. You missed the point of it, right? You're slagging them off.
I'm with you. I'm in Camp Stew with this one.
For something to get out at Christmas, to decorate your house and make it Star Warsy, and just, I mean, they're just fun. I like all of them.
I think that Snowtrooper's the best one.
Yeah, I think the Snowtrooper's amazing.
And the other one, the one which you sort of struggled to describe, you said you think like it's slightly, traditional German. I look at that and I think that Cheryl Cole video, Fight for Your Love or whatever it was, she was wearing something similar to that in the back of my mind. Like she was wearing something very similar to that and it burned into my memory. But no, I quite like this. I think the Jawa's quite sweet.
Jawa's brilliant.
Yeah, it's ticking all the boxes. If you do this Halloween...
You go for the box set. You're going for all 6, you boys. They're going to go for 3 each and share them, each like alternative Christmas.
I would definitely buy the Trooper, because that helmet is just incredible. And the Jawa. And the geezer, the little Trooper dressed in like the
Nutcracker one.
That Nutcracker, yeah, that's the word.
Yeah. Purge Trooper, that one is.
Yeah, those 3 should definitely be in your little setup for Christmas. I'm starting to build a little collection up now at Christmas, and get very excited for Christmas just to get them back out. But you'll go to Dan in a minute and he'll be like, oh, I don't like them, they're not properly screen accurate. You don't get snowmen troopers in Star Wars, That's why he's a blend. Enjoy your edit, Dan.
I'm going to leave it in.
Leave it in.
But the fact there's 6 of them, they are selling, clearly. They must be. But they've dropped Halloween is enormous in the States and getting bigger worldwide, so you think...
Well, we don't celebrate Halloween over here. So if I was setting up Halloween decorations, then perhaps I would be. But I love Christmas, and I love joy, and I love happiness. And
come on then, if we could all pick one, let's all pick one. What's our favourite? Let's go around then. Stuart, what's your favourite?
Half Trooper all day.
Jez?
Yeah, I think it's the Half Trooper. Yeah,
Craig?
Really sure.
You haven't said much on these.
The Jawa. I like the little Jawa. I get it. On that. Yeah, I get these. They're an easy win for Hasbro. People like them.
What about you, Pete? What's your favourite?
I think just for the tradition, I think I might go the Nutcracker one, the Purge Trooper. I think that works.
Right, so me and Craig are both getting the Jawa. Stuart and Jez are getting the Snowman. And Pete's getting Cheryl Cole.
The only one that's not doing it for me, in all honesty, Ashley 2, is the Mandalorian Scout. I mean, how many times you can just repaint that thing is ridiculous, and that's not screaming Christmas to me.
The K2SO's not much cop either, is he?
No. But the other 4, I think, are must-haves in any Christmas nativity.
I'm going to get a Jawa just to show you that I'm not completely cold-hearted, Stu.
Well,
I'm going to call it Stu. I'm going to call it Stu, and I'm going to call the monkey Jez. Get you out every Christmas. Right. After that little intermission, carry on, Pete.
Should have saved them for last, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
What else have you got? So you've got, new sculpts. Obviously, we've mentioned it already. The Ahsoka series is going to be merch heavy. So you've got TV series accurate Harrison Dula, Sabine Wren, and Ahsoka Tano. These look really good. So these based on the actors. So these have obviously, I don't know the numbers, but I imagine these have probably been done many times before in the Black Series, but these are going to be the first time with the series accurate sculpts. They're coming this autumn, not up for pre-order yet, but I'm sure it won't be far off until they're available for pre-order. There's also a pre-Vizsla coming from the Clone Wars. He's coming in October 23, so that's going to be in Clone Wars packaging. What else have we got? We've got a new R2-D2, which I'm not quite sure if this is a new sculpt or not. There seems to be sort of like slightly conflicting views online whether this is a brand new sculpt or not, because they've got the one in the Return of the Jedi anniversary packaging, which is coming this summer. So whether they're going to put the same figure back out.
The rescaled R2, so there was the original R2 that was released way back at I think it was in the very first wave of the 4 Black Series, and he was everyone was saying he was too small, he wasn't scaled right against the...
Okay, so it's definitely a new sculpt.
Yeah, but whether or not that one that was released for Return of the Jedi, it might be the rescaled one as well, but this is the first one in the kind of mainline series of boxes since that 2013 original sculpt that they've pretty much used for every R2 unit since then.
Yeah. So it just was hard to sort of get the direct comparison on any of the photos that have been released as it stands.
I think the Ahsoka's a repack of the Mandalorian one, isn't she?
Oh yeah, because it'd be the same sculpt, wouldn't it? So yeah, I would expect they would definitely.
I'm sure she'll have a costume change in the show a couple of times, and they'll come up with some variations for that down the line.
Of course they will.
So what else have we got? Yeah, going slightly off the figures, you got the Ahsoka Tano lightsaber and the role playing. This looks pretty good. Premium lightsaber. It's got a sort of design and deco based on Ahsoka's lightsaber from the TV series. It's got advanced LEDs, entertainment inspired sound effects, and yeah, that looks pretty good. So whether you need to get 2 of them or not, but it's coming in at a whopping $250. Autumn 24. That's listed for, so it seems to be that's an early announcement on that one. So you're going to have to wait over a year. Get that when you get your Ghost. You can have those 2 at the same time. We have some pipeline reveals. We've got a Fallen Order 3-pack. So again, more gaming. This is an Amazon exclusive. You've got Cal Kestis, Purge Trooper, and Second Sister. There's also the Droideka, which is the droids from the prequels. And then you have a 2-pack for Hasbro Pulse, which is going to be the battle droid, B2 Super Battle Droid, and Geonosis C-3PO, which is where he's got his head on... Well, the screenshot looks like he's got the head on the battle droid, that's a weird one to be...
The only thing that would get me to buy that is if it had a button on the back that you press and it said, "It's a nightmare." I'd get it then, but yeah, no, otherwise it's a no.
Yeah, so they're all pipeline reveals. There's screenshots of all of those online, but they're just the sort of the screen grabs from the movies. So yeah, that's it for Black Series. So quite a fair bit.
Shall we move on to Vintage Collection then?
Yes.
You rustling paper, you're ready for us.
Oh mate, this is amazing. You have to get a hot toy. I'm so impressed. So impressed with the packaging alone. And it's not a waste. It's not, environmentally unfriendly, because this packaging in its own right is a work of art, which I'll keep forever and ever. It's truly wonderful. Right. Okay. Vintage Collection. It's all kicking off. It's quite exciting, really. We've had some disappointments in the past with Black Chrysanthemum, but oh no, Vintage Collection. They starting off San Diego Comic-Con, which has just been this weekend, just gone. It was one of their limited edition ones, which you were able to collect at the Hasbro Pulse booth. However, it was likely that there will be others available after the show. And they're looking at $39.99. So this is a boxed Vintage Collection in a really, really wonderful, sort of celebration style Black Chrysanthemum designed a box with his bandoliers and all of the accessories there. There's clearly a lot of effort has gone into the packaging alone for this, but the mould, the sculpt, which is what we're all interested in, is pretty good, really. 14 accessories, which when you use them all, it does, I think, cheapens it slightly, particularly sort of the pulse effects around the blaster, around the rifle. But as a figure, £40, still a little bit pricey for a single Vintage Collection scale figure, I would say, but it's a very, very good one. Just I'm not going to do this on each and every one, but $39.99 for a Vintage Collection standalone figure. What are your thoughts on that?
I think the packaging on that is insane, and how you'd ever display it with all that packaging and have the figure on show, you'd need a lot of real estate just to display all of that the way it all unfolds. So I don't know. I think they're going to release that as a regular figure. It probably won't have all the accessories, but I think I'd probably be happy to wait for if I was going to get it, I'd wait for the standard release of it, to be honest with you, and maybe pay £10 less for it, because it's going to be they're going to have it as some kind of deluxe figure because of the size of it.
Yeah, the deluxe is already announced, isn't it, for that? That's what they put it in one of those, the little boxes with the cheaper ones, which are about sort of 20-25 quid, and it's coming out almost at the same time, so that just seems odd that they're putting those out so close to each other.
That little bit of text on the box is weird, isn't it? The break from convention, where it says Chrysanthemum, and it's written in a very kind of graffiti style font. It just,
it's like he's autographed the box, isn't it, Craig?
With his big furry paws. Yeah. I mean, the whole point of the vintage collection is it's supposed to look like the vintage stuff. I don't recall a kind of similar thing from back in the day.
Yeah, absolutely. They should have done it like the Wampa. You know how they did that? I didn't like the sort of finish they put on that Wampa box, but they should have done that style. So you made it a slightly bigger box, and you had the flap out the side. Might be nicer for this, but
I think all things into consideration, you're right, Craig. It is kind of, apart from the London Film and Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con style sort of scribble on it, autograph. Oh, quick! Can you autograph my thing? It does look very, very vintage. I like some of the accessories which come with it. He's got a big sort of tankard with him because he's a bit of a bouger. But I think, it looks all right. Looks all right. I don't have any vintage collection which aren't the regular carded figures. Maybe something like this would get added into my collection. It's not a no from me, which is unusual. And we move on, right? So we're going to move on. Additional vintage collection. It was revealed that the Jabba the Hutt playset, complete with Delicious Crumb, 88, and some accessories which include soft good pillows, etc. So reasonable amount of stuff coming in, and you'd expect that because price-wise, I don't know if you guys have seen this. So it's a vintage collection Jabba, which is just effectively a repaint of the Haslab Sail Barge set 1. So we've seen this before. Reasonable. It's in the scale of 3 3/4 inch scale Jabba, $89.99. So it's really starting to go up a little bit, Start thinking about payment plans on wonderful hot toys.
Well, do you remember they recently brought out, it was the, from the Book of Boba Fett, the Jabba the Hutt, or Jabba the Hutt's Palace playset that came with the dais, but it had the throne for Boba Fett to sit on. It had all the little cups and blankets and the kind of spit roast that's behind Jabba the Hutt. And you kind of, if you want the kind of the Return of the Jedi version of that set, you've got to get this to be able to park him in that set to make it the Return of the Jedi. Which, if you bought that and this, you're looking at the thick end of £300 at retail price. So it's a lot of money to put that together. Considering the Razor Crest was only $350, it's a tall order.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think there's been a better looking modern Jabba the Hutt than that one. It does look like it's pretty screen accurate for a vintage collection figure.
The vintage collection Slave Lee has just gone up even further in price once this gets out.
It's only a matter of time. Okay, but more from my point of view, this is where the fun begins. Is San Diego Comic Con Hasbro panel reveals of upcoming carded vintage collection. So you've got Sabine Wren. Where's Sabine? Well, she's coming on an Ahsoka card. So not on the Rebels card, but on an Ahsoka card, deluxe, in the winter of 2023. So later on this year, we're going to be getting Sabine Wren. We're also going to be getting Ahsoka Tano on an Ahsoka card. And again, that's also going to be coming towards the end of the year. So that's great. So from my point of view, trying to collect all the different logos on these cards, I've got a new one with Ahsoka, so I've got a choice of 2 there. And I don't need to get the Ghost to get a Rebels carded figure, because the big man, Grand Admiral Thrawn, has got a Rebels card. So this is going to be a hugely popular one. Grand Admiral Thrawn on a Rebels card. So that's coming out at the end of the year as well. You've got Pre-Vizsla, again, Clone Wars, this time VC 299, Spring 2024. So this time Pre-Vizsla on a Clone Wars card. And then Knights of the Old Republic. Exciting to see a logo of this on the carded figure. So this is Darth Revan. And another one, Spring 2024. So really building them out there. So some pretty big hitters, I would say.
Yeah, Darth Revan's having a moment, isn't he? I think he's going to be a hallmark ornament.
Wait till they make a hot toy out of him.
And then, right, more vintage collection, the Troop Builders. So you've got an Imperial Officers set, which is coming out at the end of this year. Yeah, all sorts of Imperial Officers. So, yeah, when you look at this set, so it's sort of, you know, your standard white boxed set with 4 officers. What I'm seeing here is various poses you can imagine, but without hats. So you've got 3 predominantly in the grey and 1 in what we're seeing more and more on the TV shows of your white tunicked officer. So yeah, nice little what they call Troop Builders. But then it's the vintage collection pipeline reveals. So just quite simply, they showed a few more things coming up. So again, Axe Walls, Mandalorian Commander, Mandalorian, another Grogu, Finn, Andor from Rogue One, Clone Trooper, and Count Dooku. Yeah, not bad.
Finn's come out of a bit of left field, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I don't think they've done Finn on a vintage collection card. I mean, I know that they've not done a lot of sequel trilogy stuff, but yeah, they had a couple of Reys, Kylo Ren, some other random troops, but yeah, that's the first time they've done him on a vintage collection card. So, back to Craig now with the retro collection.
Yes, Dan, another wave of retro Jedi figures while we're still in the 40th anniversary year, although this time it's in one of those box sets, like they did the 2 Star Wars sets recently. And it's an interesting mix. So the box set comes with a Gamorrean Guard, Emperor's Royal Guard, Akbar, Wicket, Yak Face, and the pick for me, a vintage style Mon Mothma. They are righting that wrong with a vintage style Mon Mothma, which I think is great. Sneaking her in there is a bit of a pain for people like me who might just be collecting the ones they never did. But it's kind of nice to think that an actual Kenner vintage Yak Face might put a dent in the sales of people like Stan Solo, who are counterfeiting these desirable figures. So I think that's quite interesting. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Well, if you want to go and buy that box set, I reckon you could buy it, take her out of it, and then sell the rack face for what you've probably paid for the rest of the set, because I think that's what a lot of people will be after.
Most certainly, yeah.
I can see that being quite a valuable figure. It always seems, I mean, even the vintage collection ones they've released, it seems to take a jump in value just because people they've got this mystique around Yak Face.
Yeah. He does have that certain something. But they've also revealed some pipeline figures. There's things that they're going to tackle next, and I think
I'm excited for this one. I think this is
really
great.
Interesting. So they're all from Episode 1. So they've got Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, Darth Maul, which I think would look amazing in a kind of retro vintage style. Battle Droid, which I'm thinking kind of 8D8 kind of feel to him, maybe. Jar Jar and Queen Amidala. I think the image they've shown is the throne room with the big kind of curvy, kind of half moon kind of hairdo, which I think would be perfect for vintage style. So yeah, I'm all in for those. I think they're going to be really interesting to see what they do with them and where they go with that as well. And they tackle the prequels and sequels and, you know, where they end up with it.
Even back in '99 when they released those Episode 1 card backs, I know there's people who are really nostalgic for that now. That's what they grew up with. But when they released that and they never released them on vintage card backs, I was devastated. I thought, I'm not going to buy any. And I bought hardly any Episode 1 figures, but I'd buy that whole set.
And would you keep them carded for that reason?
No, because they'll be on those retro. I've opened all my retro collection stuff up for the most part. So I'd probably have them displayed. Certainly if they're going to carry on and do the other prequels.
Yeah.
What do you reckon to those, Stu? That's got to be, you've got to be on those, haven't you?
Yeah, they are great, aren't they? They are great. It's a shame there's not an Anakin. But
little Anakin, yeah.
Yeah, he was quite central to Episode 1, wasn't he? I think they could have put him in as well. Although saying that, you wouldn't have cut any of that lot out, which they've chosen. It's all vital to that film. Maybe they needed a Sal Bivo as well.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what Jar Jar looks like in retro form.
I'd love a Jar Jar hot toy. I would just love it. I mean, I can't believe they haven't done it. Everyone would be all over that.
Not yet. It might happen.
Yeah, Anakin will end up as an exclusive on that, I reckon, when they do those. He'll
It'll be in the
appear.
Monopoly set or something.
Yeah, I don't think they can do those 6 without doing him. He's the standout that is missing, yeah.
Actually, with a pit droid, maybe.
Any interest in those, Pete? Is Retro Collection, does that do anything for you when they
I do like them. I bought a couple. The Jedi set is really nice. I do like that, and having Mon Mothma in there, they're totally on it there. What they're doing. The Queen Amidala in this will be good because I don't think they've ever done that as a vintage collection figure, have they? The throne room costume in the red. I think you can only get that as an original Episode 1 figure, from what I believe, but I may be wrong. Now they do look good, and when they come out, they do look fantastic. I haven't bought into many of them, but we've got the Book of Boba Fett set to appear, haven't we, as well? So.
Yeah, they've not gone up for pre-order yet. I've been keeping an eye out for those. I will jump on those as soon as I see them. Last year, the Obi-Wan ones, I saw them in Forbidden Planet around August, so I'm guessing it's going to be any time now that's they're going to appear. But there was no pre-orders on them, which was strange.
No, where's the price at on these? Because they've crept up to...
Well, they've not even got pictures of the figures yet. They're just pipeline reveals, so don't even know when they're going to come out.
But on the next wave, they got to sort of 15 quid, haven't they, on these?
Oh, what, per figure? Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you hold out, I mean, the Obi-Wan figures, they were knocking them out at Christmas for, I think you could buy them cheap, 25, 20 quid for a box of them, weren't they? You got a box of them, didn't you?
Yeah. So it's Star Action and In Demand for knocking them out.
Yeah, so if you can hold your nerve, maybe, wait until the sales, they might get them a bit cheaper. Very good. Very good. How you getting on with that hot toy, Jez?
Sorry, mate, for the delay. I was just having a play with my hot toy. I have to tell you, I've just actually spent a little while recording the face because it's so unbelievably good. I was holding it in my hand. I've not even got out of the base or changed any of the arms or the hands up and any batteries or done anything like that. I've just got the regular figure, which comes with different eyeballs. It comes with different types of hairstyles. But just looking at it, really, really close to me, it wouldn't have surprised me if this thing had just started talking to me like it was real. It looks that good. Dan, you've done an unboxing which I've not had the time to watch yet, but you've seen this. How good is this face detail?
Yeah. What hair have you got? Have you got the wet look hair or the regular hair?
There's sort of one which comes with it, which is like the wet look, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
I've not got the other one out yet.
It's amazing, mate. You can see the pores in his skin. It's amazing.
I am so impressed with this, and as a Star Wars fan, we need to embrace all sort of different things. And what I've paid for this, including sort of VAT delivery, is less now than people are paying for a sort of regular carded Kenner figure or from a vintage line, or Palatoy or what have you. For me, this already, I'm just super nervous about breaking it, because the first thing it says in the instruction book is to take off the regular right arm and put on the right arm, which has got batteries built in, so you can charge up and light the lightsaber and stuff. And it's just saying, simply undo the cuff buttons, follow the indicated sequence, and bend the forearm slightly backwards to detach the normal right forearm. Now, in my luck, I'll break it. Is it easy to break these things? You guys have probably.
Well, you come with extra pegs. So if you look in the box, there's extra pegs to if you do break the peg, there are extras in the box.
All right.
So I think in the tray, there's some in the middle. They're like little balls with two little plastic fobs that stick off them. So you don't get to. But unless you want that lightsaber lit up, I wouldn't bother putting the other arm on. I don't bother anymore. I did it with the Vader, and I don't switch it on often enough to warrant doing it. And then you got to worry about the batteries leaking and all the rest of it. So unless you're planning to have a lit up load, I wouldn't worry.
That's a fair point. It's my first hot toy, mate. I'm going to do all the bells and whistles. I'm going to do absolutely everything, right? I think the stand lights up. I'm going to really, really kick the backside out of this, and I don't like the wavy lightsaber look so much. But this is absolutely brilliant. Sorry, you were going to ask me a question.
I'll ask the question to you, Jez.
Oh, here we go.
Could you imagine being a Star Wars fan and being a modern toy podcaster and not having a hot toy in this day and age?
Not now. Absolutely not.
I can't believe who would. I mean, I know all of us lot have got one because we're all modern podcasters with hot toys.
Yeah, just imagine, hey, just imagine.
Which one are you getting, Pete?
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm on the cusp, though. I'm on the cusp. I hear. There's a rumour going around. I'm on the cusp. Yeah, not sure yet. Not sure. Still pondering.
You were interested in the armour off Martin Woodgate.
I like the armour. Yeah, that one's good. And what was the droid?
Short Circuit, Johnny 5?
No, you had it. You've got it. The all black, red eyes.
Oh, Dark Trooper. Yeah,
Dark
get that one.
Trooper.
Get that one and the Armourer. Yeah.
So
the Armourer's a good price on Sideshow now. It's down to about 160 quid.
Ah. So yeah, they're the two I'm on the cusp of.
Right, help us, Craig. Get us back on track. Give us some Geeki Tiki.
Okay, so our friends at Geeki Tiki went all out, I think, this year for San Diego Comic-Con with a whole lot of product that was centred around another collaboration with the artist Shag, which Beeline CEO Brandon teased on our Christmas show last year, if you saw that. So there was a lower shirt design that Shag had done, a lovely set of Max Rebo and Ula highball cocktail tumblers, which I'm sure Stu would be all over for his bar. 4 Jedi-themed coasters in the same style, but the crowning piece of the stuff they had in San Diego was this new designer Jabba the Hutt Tiki mug that comes with a metal Salacious Crumb swizzle stick. It's just a design that's clearly inspired by those wooden Tiki masks, and it just works so well. I know there's a Geeki Tikis Jabba out there already, but this is the Shag interpretation. And he was also there as an artist in his own right, debuting a new print called Carcoon Clash. I don't know whether any of you saw that, but it's pretty cool. But this mug is just great. It's limited to 250, I believe, and now the show's over, it's available for pre-order on their website for $250, which sounds like a hell of a lot of money for, a ceramic mug. But you've got to think in terms of these being art pieces. There's an artist name attached to these things in terms of that collaboration. The packaging is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. So I think these things are certainly above the main line of their products as kind of investment pieces, but they just keep their value. I mean, I think they've found a kind of 20 or so kind of artist proofs of his first range of mugs, which they were selling as a set 4. Yeah, I'm a big fan of these things. You know I am. So they're available on the Geeki Tikis website, due to ship in November this year, just in time for Christmas drinks. But as often with these things, their license doesn't extend to kind of shipping them outside of the country. I did check Toink to see if they had any, to see if you could get them through that route, because they do ship worldwide, because they're a retailer. They're not the sort of actual company producing these things. And again, they're not on there as yet. They may well eventually find their way there. But interestingly, what was there was a lot more of the recent products that we've discussed on past shows. So things like the Dewback and that TIE Fighter that you brought back from the States. You can all get that now on Toink.
Yeah, that's where I ordered them from when I was out from Toink, when I was out in the States, and I got it delivered to where I was staying. I did look at getting them shipped to the UK, but I think it was whatever the price was it $90 for the TIE Fighter is another $90 to get it over, and then you're going to get stung with customs fees on top of that. So it's still not really a cost efficient way of getting. They will do it, but you're still paying a lot to get them over.
But, I watched their feeds over the weekend, and one, they look to be having a great time. 2, the products are just great, and it's just, tantalising that we can't really get our hands on them unless we've got friendly people in the US to.
They showed off the Slave One was coming up quite a bit in my feed.
Yeah,
that he showed off to us at Christmas. I think that was They weren't at Celebration, were they?
No, Tonk were there. Tonk were there with some of the newer stuff. But yeah, it's a shame we can't get our hands on them. But it's nice that they exist. They make me smile. I think they're great.
And onwards to Lego, Peter. What's happening in the world of Lego?
A fair bit, as usual. They're not missing out on Ahsoka either, as you'd expect. So their first, one of their major releases is the Ghost. This looks pretty cool, and it's coming in at affordable, I guess, if you're looking at this stuff, at £149, coming in September. So you can actually get your finished Ghost in hand in September. So perfect timing for the series. Comes with the Phantom 2. Also 4 Lego minifigures. You've got General Hera Syndulla, Lieutenant Beta, Jason Syndulla, and First Officer Hawkins. Plus you got a Chopper droid figure as well. So yeah, it's 1,394 pieces. So yeah, this looks very saleable, doesn't it? And the timing is absolutely perfect. You can see these flying through the autumn and for Christmas. I think it's been done once before in 2014 with 929 pieces in that set. So they've upped the detail. I think they've upped the size a little bit as well. So yeah, this looks good. You have got these new mechs. I think you pronounced that. You've got Vader, a Stormtrooper, and Boba Fett. So these are sort of a style of figure that Lego have done a lot of in the past. I thought these were sort of new to Lego, but looking them up, there's a big back catalogue of them on various other.
They do it like with Marvel, don't they? They give them
loads of Marvel. And that Lego, that Ninja range, they seem to do a lot of them. And just sort of looking at a bit of the chat online, I think the initial reaction to this announcement was really negative, but I think now people have seen them and seen the sort of packaging, that people are maybe coming around a little bit more to them.
My son loves these sets. These aren't collected, they're to play with, and he loves all of his Marvel ones. He's always got them out on the floor, playing with them, fighting, smashing them into each other. That's exactly what they're for.
Yeah, so they look quite fun. There's sort of talking about this sort of the Lego Builder app where you can mix them with sort of 3D and obviously get them onto your tablet or whatever. So there's a sort of a computer element to these as well. But they're fantastic price point, $12.99. That's pretty good. Yeah, 12 centimeters high. They remind me of, remember those Super Shogun figures? They did a Boba Fett and a Stormtrooper. Remember those are quite big. They've got that sort of look to them, and there's obviously you can get those. You get like a mini Boba Fett, a mini Vader, and a mini Stormtrooper. And how much are they going for now? So these are $12.99. You get those included. I can see these doing quite well, and they're obviously working for Lego because they've got so many other brands. I'm surprised they've waited so long to actually get them on the Star Wars. You have got the Rin 4 base. This looks really good. If I'm in the Lego store and it's sunny, I may even pull the trigger on this one myself. These look great. You've got the detailed command room, pilot briefing room, medal ceremony stage. There's a tree in there. You've got the elevating watchtower. There's a Y-wing, which is pretty detailed. You've got the service car as well, which you see sort of roaming around. Yeah, so even just for the watchtower, I think this is worth it. That looks fantastic. It's also come with 10 minifigures, 8 of which I believe are exclusive, which is quite something. It's quite extraordinary for a Lego set. So yeah, I think this looks fantastic. Really iconic set, and I'm surprised they've never done it. I'm surprised they've sort of waited so long to get to Yavin. Next, you have this Chewbacca. Oh my god. Have you all seen this? Have you all seen this? How did this get past Lego quality control, and how did it get past Lucasfilm quality control and actually make it to market? Because I think it's almost out there, isn't it? I think it's not far. What date have we got on this? It's shocking. It reminds me of the rock monster in Neverending Story. That's where I sort of went with it. It's just bizarre.
We've had terrible black chrysanthemums in the last couple of years, and now we've got this.
Yeah.
Chime in on this one, mate. I want to know your thoughts on this. Have you pre-ordered this or what? 180 quid.
Of course I have.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's 2,319 pieces. It's 18 inches tall, so it's enormous. Quote from the Lego site: "It's buildable Star Wars character designed to make a big visual impact." It's like, yeah, it certainly will, but not in a good way. I can't believe they got it so wrong on the face.
I applaud its ambition. What a brave thing to tackle in plastic Lego bricks. That fur at that scale. I just think Props to him for trying, you know.
You are too kind, Chris.
I think, but it could have, but like the bandolier and the belt and look good, but it's just, I don't know, they just haven't got that head right. They just,
the body's not horrendous.
I'd like to see the misses. I'd like to see what got rejected. Yeah, it just seems to be the head.
It looks like he's almost got two sets of eyes. I don't know what's going on there.
They tried to do that, didn't they do Grogu a while ago? And that had similar feel. It had that kind of, like you say, that rock monster kind of, you know, clearly made of bricks. But yeah, it's just not. Some things work, some things don't.
On the Lego website, one of the photos is of maybe a model, maybe the sculptor. I don't know. But it's a gentleman who's holding this thing in his hands, cradling it, looking at it lovingly, like it's a newborn child or something like that. I just want to know what he's thinking. Is he just thinking, I'm being paid to look at this absolute honking piece of rubbish, or I'm really proud of that? Or is he just thinking, what's on telly this afternoon?
He looks a bit like a young George W. Bush.
He's like Will Ferrell.
He's got this sort of vacant look about him. So, yeah.
Well, maybe when you've got it in front of you and it's in 3 dimensions, it looks better than it does in 2. I don't know. But yeah, certainly not for me.
It looks better in the picture on the box.
No.
What do you mean, no?
Yeah.
No. No. Yeah, it's funny.
Everything looks good on those boxes. On the Black Star boxes, everything looks good.
For an extra 30 quid, you could have that land speeder. Which...
Yeah. You're going to go, don't you?
Yeah, it's not for me.
Well, no. So yeah, finishing it out, you've got the Yoda's Jedi Starfighter. An odd choice for this sort of timing, this sort of offering, but I think that's also been done before as well. I think it's a resculpt on that. So that's for August 23. You've got the Advent calendar, which is the sort of the annual favourite. You've got 320 pieces, and there's a little small build in there. You've got an Ahsoka Clone Trooper battle pack with 4 minifigures in there. That's kind of $18.99 for August. And again, sort of on the Ahsoka merch trail, you've got the T6 Jedi shuttle, which so in addition to the Ghost, you're going to get this one as well. It comes with 4 minifigures: Ahsoka, Sabine, Professor Huyun, and Marok. It just looks a little boring. I don't know why, but it just doesn't sort of do it for me looking at this. But it's there, and I guess they're to get this one out there as well. And then you've also got a New Republic E-Wing versus Shimhati Starfighter. So I think the E-Wing appears in the trailer. That got everyone excited. So that's obviously going to be appearing in the TV series as well. So yeah, the standout I think is the Yavin set. The Chewbacca is just outstanding for very many reasons.
Good showing from Lego. So, Jez, you've been playing with a hot toy all night. It's now time to talk about it.
Yep, it's all going well. I've had a slight disaster, actually, and that's because I did this before. Last time we were recording, I've accidentally knocked my Slave 1 Lego off the desk in my excitement, so I'm going to enjoy a rebuild on that later on this week. Brilliant. Yeah, hot toy. Amazing. This is going well. I need to have a screwdriver in my hand, and after spending all this money and getting all these bits and extra hands, which I'm never going to attach after the initial night, it doesn't come with a tiny little screwdriver, which is a little bit annoying, got to be honest with you. And it also doesn't come with the cables to plug it into the electric, which is a little bit annoying. I was expecting all I needed to do was to open it and have some excitement and energy. Is that usual, is it? You don't get cables and stuff with it?
Hey, I've not had one with a USB cable before.
Okay.
Like a USB light up feature, so that base is the first thing I've had with a USB light up.
Ah, right, okay.
But yeah, you're right, it doesn't, does it? I thought I'd left it in the box because I'd set it all up and then decided to plug it in and thought, I'll just use one that I've got laying around, but...
Yeah, no, it doesn't come with one. Now I need to go and find a little micro screwdriver, but it's fine, it's all good. And yeah, it's looking amazing. And what else is looking amazing? So, Hot Toys have revealed IG-12 on their Facebook page. So you see IG-12, this one comes with, well, something a little bit different. So from The Mandalorian, this one comes with the Grogu built into it, right? So it's a slightly sort of niche one from that particular episode. And yeah, IG-12 with the Grogu built in. And this is the one where you get the little yes, no, where Grogu was able to communicate with our Mandalorian. So they've included this sound effect in the figure. So you can just, whilst having a pretty cool looking figure, you can irritate people with yes or no sound effects. As you'd expect, this is a tall figure, scaled in at 36 centimeters, 14 inches. And it's got the Grogu, it's got some food accessories, and it's got one Anzelian Droidsmith, aka Babu Frick. Yay! With interchangeable arms and a figure stand. So yeah, it's cool. It's going to look great. There's a second version as well, which actually has 3 of those Anzelian Droidsmiths, or Babu Frick, and a couple of buddies. And it also comes with Grogu's pram, an energy shield, a new shoulder patch for Bo-Katan, and a remnant shield, a jetpack and baton for Din Djarin, and a heated blaster for Paz Vizsla. So there you go. Get the special edition, and then you kind of you want to go and get all those other figures, which I'm sure you would have already got in advance.
But that's the thing, isn't it? So normally they'd re-release that Paz Vizsla has just been re-released with some extra bits and pieces. The fact they've kind of done this accessory pack that lets you upgrade all of your existing figures to Mandalorian Season 3 is a bit of a surprise. Normally they just re-release the figure, but they've clearly decided not to do that, which is good, right? So just buy this one.
Yeah, maybe it's because people are like, I want to get my Bo-Katan, I want to get my Din Djarin, I want to get my Paz, and possibly because this was such a sort of not a minor part, but let's face it, it was a little bit of a minor part in Season 3 of Mandalorian. Maybe they're just saying, not sure if this one's going to sell, so let's bulk it out with some extra bits which the hot toy junkies will want. So that way we'll shift this. That's maybe me being over cynical.
No, you're probably right. I mean, the IG-11 has been out a couple of years now, and I think you can still get him. So,
I think it looks pretty good though. It looks pretty good. This could be the one for Peter, and also comes with a mouse droid, so you get a lot of bang for your buck if you get the special edition one. But just to have a hot toy with yes or no sounds. I'm not sure. Is that the first hot toy with sounds like that, or vocal with words?
I haven't got any that make any sounds. You, Stu?
Stuart's making a sound when they fall off the top of his detolfs.
Yeah.
Wilhelm scream.
Yeah. So yeah,
I don't think I have got one that makes a noise.
Yeah, so it looks alright. It's hot toy. It's going to be great. Excellent value for money. And then what else did we get? So they had Sideshow Con. Sideshow Con, awesome. 2023, new hot toy Star Wars reveals. There's 6 of them, really. So we've got what they're calling the Covert Mandalorian female and the Covert Mandalorian male. To me, after now having seen Din, building out his armour through the series, I look at these and I'm like, they just look a bit naff. They just look a bit like cosplayers. No disrespect. Right, don't start writing in, don't at me. But I'm just saying that they're just extra characters in the background, aren't they? So not sure how popular these will be, but there we go. Covert Mandalorian female and male. But it's the Anzelian Droidsmith, which I'm quite excited about because this is a life-size little Babu Frick, which is just, quite a one of my favourite characters of Rise of Skywalker.
I think he could be your new Star Wars double. I can see you with your little welding hat on at work.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Little saggy bosoms. And, wasting away biceps. And, just, means well. Sometimes some people find it difficult to understand what he's saying. You're right. It could be my doppelganger. Absolutely. We're going to move on to the slightly more exciting ones because I really like this. The Sand Trooper and the Dewback. I think that's probably one of our favourites collectively. I think it just looks great. I think I think they've nailed it. I think the Dewback looks really, really good. And there's something about that. I think they've done really well.
That's your question, Tiz.
I am warm into it. Yeah, go on, ask me the question.
So, I love this, okay? I will be all over that. I think it's amazing. But go back 3 or 4 modern ways.
Blurg.
That's why I said I'm warm.
Looks like just a giant lump
of
brown. What's the difference between this looking like a giant lump of green?
Yeah.
And your blurg? They're both similar sorts of shapes. I know the blurg's on 2 legs, but
I knew that you were going to ask me that. That's why I preempted it with I'm warming to it. What's the difference? This looks awesome.
So you're warming to a blurg, are you?
Yeah, I am warming to a blurg. You know, you can melt this heart of stone. I am warming to a blurg, but this looks the business. You know, with his gingivitis and everything, it looks really, really good. It looks the business. I like it. I like it a lot, and I also like the armourer. I think the armourer looks really well done. And then we move on to R5D4 with Mouse Droid. So yeah, some nice reveals coming up there. So the first 2 not overly worried about. My doppelganger, yeah, looking cool. But the Sandtrooper G-Bag, Armourer and R5D4, I think look really, really good. Really good.
It's odd that the R5D4 was still, that was revealed. Well, there was a version of R5D4, I think for Book of Boba Fett, that came with the droid. Yeah, no, it wasn't Mando. It was Book of Boba Fett because it had the one with the little droid that sits on.
Had the pit droid out of Pele things.
Yeah, but I'm sure that was a couple of year and a half ago when Book of Boba Fett. Well, whatever, you know. So now they've really.
It's still on Sideshow. One sec. Because I'm sure it's Mando.
Oh, okay, it's got to be right.
Well, I'm going to prove it. If I don't respond, it means I'm wrong.
But it's strange that now they've got this version. I'm assuming it's going to have like the rockets or something because he flew in Mando Season 3. And the Armourer, I think she's just got a backpack accessory, if I'm not mistaken. So they just seem odd to re-release so soon.
Mate. You're right. It's the Mando episode of Book of But why wouldn't you go for this R5D4? Because it comes with a pit droid as well.
No. Yeah, exactly, yeah. I don't know what the price differences are, but it's strange they've done that. I can't work it out. And neither can anyone else, because there's been quite a few comments on groups I'm in, but there you go. We digress.
But they look great. I'm looking at this one now. I'm starting to build it, put it on its base. It's outstanding, fellas. Everyone needs a Hot Toy somewhere on a bookshelf, on a computer desk. It's gonna look great in Peter's room. But then, Sideshow Con, day 2, even more reveals. So you have a life-size Grogu with Pram. And you look at it and, it does look good. And then, just out of sort of left field, Death Star Trooper with detention block console. I just want to ask you what your thoughts are on this chap.
I really liked it when I first saw it. I love the console and I love the helmet. I mean, the bloke I could take or leave, but...
Yeah, the bloke, I think the bloke, because we don't recognise that face, because it's not, say, Admiral Motti or, you know, one of the Imperials who we know. It's just, you know, a generic Imperial officer, but they've given him such amazing attention to detail. I mean, I'm looking at it now and it looks real. It looks like a photograph. It looks perfect, but I don't recognise that as a face. That's why it might...
You have to go back and watch A New Hope, isn't it? Because this is from A New Hope, isn't it? So you have to go back and watch it, mate, and see it. Because it'll guarantee it's modelled off someone.
Oh, yeah.
But when you look at... It's even like Lee Ward, right, who's from... the Battle of Robots. He is all over Imperials, and people have got some amazing displays and dioramas of hot toy Imperials, and this will fit right in.
Yeah, it looks great. The console looks brilliant. I love it. I think it's going to be great. You just then think, right, okay, so what else are we going to get? What else can go in that area? So that's good. But the exciting one, the really good one, which I'm going to bring Dan in, because Dan, I think you've got even more information on this one. This is the Anakin with real hair. Real hair.
Real hair in inverted commas.
I'm buying someone else's hair. Is this, someone has quite literally lopped off their hair and given it to Hot Toys, to Sideshow, and then they're honking it to us?
I hope so.
Really? Did you sniff underpants? This is... I mean, I look at it and it looks fantastic. The hair looks great, says the bold guy. It looks really good.
they're describing it as their Artisan series. So this is a toy show exclusive. So it's not. I don't know how these work, because I think in past years we've had the armor, because that was originally one of these toy show exclusive, and then last year there were some of those chrome troopers. Remember, we all slagged them off on our year roundup. We were talking about some of those chromed troopers, and this year they're doing this. They're also doing, I know it's not Star Wars, but they're doing a Heath Ledger Joker with real hair, but they look amazing. They are on pre-order on a number of the Hong Kong websites. It is a limited edition. I've seen 2 numbers. I've seen 800 and I've seen 2000. So we'll just have to wait and see what that ends up being. And I know that Ian's trying to get his hands on some, and a few of the other UK retailers. But yeah, they are limited. On Toys Wonderland, they're either 416 or 316, whether you opt for the first or the second batch. So if you want it early and before everyone else, you have to pay an extra £100. But if you're prepared to wait a little bit longer, you can get it for 316 plus postage. But yeah, I've pulled the trigger on it. I think it looks amazing. I've got Padme pre-ordered. I know it's the Attack of the Clones Padme, but who cares? But this will look great alongside it, and I think it's great. Brilliant. Just in time for the Revenge of the Sith 30th, so it's due out the end of next year. 30th? 20th.
Yeah, so some cracking pieces from Hot Toys, really, really knocking it out of the park. Yeah, exciting times. What do you think about Anakin, Pete?
I'm still trying to get over the real hair.
I believe it's wool.
Like a hair farm somewhere, they're just sort of growing hair.
It's wool.
Okay.
They're growing it on sheep.
It's like it's a new thing.
So it's real wool.
Yeah, what do they think of next?
Hot Toys aren't the only people who license these movies and do stuff. A lot of them, there's a lot of different businesses buying up these licenses and releasing 6-scale figures. And Hare's, they've been trying to do that on a number of figures for years, but this is the first time I think Hot Toys have done it. And if it's as good as it looks in the pictures, it'll be amazing. There's a lot of people online saying, is it going to sit in the box and you're going to open it and you're going to have to spend 2 hours combing it and getting it in the right shape? But let's see what happens. I'm game. Could be amazing.
Yeah, you get the layer comb. Get the layer comb and brush and mirror and the little sort of the booklet how to do space puffs and stuff.
That is exactly what Grant said. I sent Grant a picture to try and tempt him with it, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm not a barber."
I want a 2-hour real-time unboxing of Dan combing his little dolly's hair.
We'll make it happen. Very good. What are you buying out of that lot, Stu? You've got to be putting some pre-orders down.
I would be all over the dewback without a doubt, and probably the detention block console. I think that's nice, different, especially if it's lit well. Oh, detention block sale.
I thought you'd be on for the Anakin to go up against Dooku.
But I've already got an Anakin on his stat, and I don't want loads of the same thing.
Gotcha.
It does look amazing. I mean, they're all amazing. I've up in Fennec Shan tonight while I've been sitting here. They're just incredible, aren't they? They are incredible.
Pete, come on, Pete. What if you had to get one? What would you get out of that lot? We're gonna do this before Christmas.
Out of all of them, probably the Babu Frick. I reckon that might be quite fun to get.
Nice Babu Frick.
Nice Jez. I did not
like living with Jez, yeah.
Yeah.
Be out before Christmas, Pete, so we might need to look elsewhere.
Well, as long as you've got pre-order in, I can go with a pre-order. What about you, Craig? You up for any of those?
Probably not at the minute. I mean, I'm always impressed by them, but I have to factor in space. I have to be practical these days. It's 1 in, 1 out at my house.
Do nice work, I'll give them that, but Grogu is too young to operate heavy machinery.
No.
What do you mean, no?
No.
I think he's saying he's old enough to operate it.
Yes.
Get him out of there.
No.
Come on. Hey.
Would you look at that?
Yes.
Yes, what?
Yes. 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 Yes.
So we'll stick with you then, Jez, just a little bit longer. Iron Studios have revealed another great statue after the one we looked at last month, but is it as good?
I really like this. I don't know if that surprises you or not. So this is a Darth Vader from the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show. It's 1/10th scale from Iron Studios, who have again got a bit of a passion and previous for this. It's showing it $159.99. And what are we looking at here? So it weighs a kilo. It's 2.2 pounds. It's 9.6 inches high, 9 inches wide. Hang on a second. You've got a Vader which is 9 inches wide. Yes, because of the pose, because of the stance on the sort of volcanic area of the battle in the Kenobi TV show. So this is Darth Vader with his robes splayed out in this fighting stance, in this pose, with Darth Vader and his helmet sliced right open, so you can see that disfigured Anakin behind it. The detailing in the cape is outstanding. It's really is really weathered. It's really looking battered. It's like a Vader I've never seen before.
It's got that slash across his back as well. Obi-Wan.
It looks great. There's a cool little short video which if we can rip it into the enhanced, I think that'll be a good addition, and it really shows it off well. When you gave me this, I was like, oh, here we go, because you often give me the tut, and I looked at this and I was like, do you know what, that's good. And I think it goes in your collection, Dan, and I'm not stitching you up. I think, as a Vader fan, I think it's really cool. And so it's made of this material which they use all the time, polystone. So it's resin, polystone, PVC, metal and fabric combined. But all in all, I was really surprised with this when I looked at the detailing.
So if you had to pick between this and that Vader on his throne that we looked at last time, which one would you go for, do you reckon?
That was really expensive as well, wasn't it? This hands
and
down.
Heavy and massive and scary.
I mean, I know that was still sort of semi-popular amongst the crew because it was just something different. We did speak about the fact that you rarely see Vader sat down, but it doesn't mean to say you can't get something, outside of what we've seen. But for me, this is really quite cool, dare I say.
This might be controversial, but I think the Vader on the throne edges it. There's just something quite stoic and powerful about that. This reminds me of, do you remember the Unleashed series? It's just a little bit too extreme. It's a bit like, the Marvel where they all land with one hand.
Yeah.
It's just a bit.
Hero
it's not
jump.
very Vadery.
Yeah. Yeah, but Nora's sitting on a throne which looks like a toilet. But I get your point, because that's what it did. That's what it wasn't just one of us who thought that in the last show. No, I get your point.
If you put some lava lamps around it, it'll look amazing.
Yeah, well, I've got some from the last Enhance. We'll see what it looks like, shall we? Copy and paste.
Yeah, just give it time there.
I'm just looking at this one photograph where it's straight on. It looks outstanding. I'm slightly distracted by, again, there's a sort of male model behind it, and you can see majority of his torso and the hairiest arms I've ever seen. I mean, this guy could double as Chewbacca, which is really distracting. I don't know if you can see this image, but he's just got the hairiest of arms ever. And it's really weird. But as a figure, I get what you mean, Craig, but I'll take this one over Toilet Vader any day.
I do like it, but like I said, the last one, I've got a Hot Toys Vader from Kenobi, and that looks as good in terms of the face sculpt and a split helmet, and I can repose it. They are nice, though. I suppose there's still a bit of a mystery, Iron Studios. I haven't had the bottle to pull the trigger on any of their pre-orders yet, but I think I'm going to have to. I still really like that Vader in the corridor, the Tantive corridor, killing all of the rebel troops. I think I'd go for that one. Yeah, very good. Have you been looking at these at all, Stu? I mean, we spoke about this Vader on his throne last time. Do you have any thoughts on that one?
I don't know. I do like some of Iron Studios stuff. I've never gone down the Star Wars stuff of it. I love the Master of the Universe stuff. But this is nice, but it's not for me. I don't throw money around like that willy-nilly.
What are you laughing about?
It is good though. If I was a Darth Vader collector, there's no way I wouldn't have this in my collection, because I would just be embarrassed to be seen.
If they bring a Greedo out, that's all I can say.
They wouldn't know, mate. I'd be all over that.
Amazing.
Oh man, why haven't we had a Twi'lek hot toy? Can you imagine Ayla Secura?
We'll probably get a Hera.
Yeah. I thought she'd be in your top 5 Twi'leks.
No, I don't think she is. She's one that I would take home for the night, but not one I'd commit to.
Yeah, you take home Hera, but you'd be thinking of Garza Whip or whatever the name is. Yeah, I get it.
Ula.
Oh, Ula.
Craig, save us. Take us home. Gentle Giant.
Gentle Giant. Right, okay. So, Gentle Giant have announced a whole lot more stuff. So starting off with a couple of minibus, we've got Carson Teva, who is the New Republic pilot that crops up in The Mandalorian from time to time. He's depicted brandishing a rifle because I think depicting him from the waist up flying an X-Wing would just look a bit weird, but it's nice enough. He's $130. And we've also got in minibus form a real person take, I'm doing air quotes, but you can't see them, real person, non-animated version of Pre Vizsla from the Clone Wars, which comes with an interchangeable head and his non-helmety head. It's got a frowny, scarred face and is brandishing the dark saber. And if you're into the minibus, these are, of a comparable quality to other ones we've discussed, fitting additions to collections of those. Then we've got a bigger bust for those who like that sort of thing, which is another battle damaged Darth Vader. So I think you can probably get this in all formats and scales now, apart from maybe 3 3/4. So we've discussed a couple tonight. But this is like Jez's Luke X-Wing. It's from the Legends in 3D series. So it's got this lightsaber style plinth, and it's just a nice kind of head and shoulders of Vader looking imposing. Its bigger size is reflected in its price point of $225. But for those people who like the rest of the bodies rendered in statue style, we've got a couple of statues. So we've got an animated style Thrawn sitting in his command chair. Although the write-up says throne, I don't think it's throne, I think it's command chair. Which is nice. He's got his leg crossed, which just looks a little bit awkward, I think, on the photos. It might be one that I need to see in person to properly judge. There's just something a little bit off with the anatomy of that one. That one's retailing at $250. And then I think the sort of, for me, the nicest of the crop is a Din Djarin and Grogu on a speeder bike. And again, when I first saw this, I thought it was quite weird looking, because it's like often the thing about a speeder bike is the speed and the motion and the sort of dynamics that brings. And this isn't in motion. It's got Mando with like one leg on the floor, and both of them sort of peering down, presumably from a scene which I don't recall at the moment. But it's actually quite a nice way of capturing a floating speeder. It's all the kind of weight and support is on his leg, so that there's no need for a hokey looking, clear stand or anything like that. So I think that's actually quite a successful kind of way of doing it. I think it looked great on a higher shelf, with them looking down on you. I mean, it's a big beast. It's a kind of foot long. And then finally, in the in the retro jumbo series, we've got R2-D2 from the droid factory with his extra leg. It's just lazy. But it's yours if you want it for $80. I
was going to come to Jez first. What do you think of the another random actor getting a minibus? So this Carson Teva character, another mate of what's his name, Trapper Wolf.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll love that. Yeah,
his family will all be getting one for Christmas.
Yeah.
You'll look great along next to your Jacks.
Yeah, it's not going to go by the Jags. It's certainly not going to go by Luke. Hello, I'm looking at him now. It's awesome. Yeah, not a huge fan of that one. See what Craig says about the Din Djarin. That is nice, but they've got a reasonable mix.
I was disappointed by the Vader because I saw it was kind of done in the same style as your Luke X-Wing, and that is such a great bust. And and that Vader would have been the one that I would have got, but I just don't think they've got it quite right. The mask looks off, the revealed face piece looks off. I'm not going to get it. I'd love to have got it. I think the bait that did the lightsaber kind of bottom of it, like your one's got. I think the X-Wing, isn't it, that makes up the stand for it. But
yeah, really does.
I'm not paying 225 quid for that, unfortunately. So it's a pass from me on those. I definitely ain't getting that Jumbo Toy Factory R2. Oh dear.
I always wondered about the Jumbos. That's the one that turns me into a fan.
The droids look the best, I think. Absolutely. I agree with that. This and the original C-3PO, but where's 88 gone? I thought they were doing that. And the Max Rebo band. They seem to have vanished.
To close it off, Craig, there was a number of other retailers or licensees at San Diego Comic-Con. Did you have any other picks from that lot that you wanted to mention? Anyone else wanted to mention?
There was quite a list, all the usual stuff, watches, and I think there was a Rogu Tamagotchi and various little bits and pieces. So I picked a couple just to highlight. And the first one, and it looks like Jazzwares have taken some inspiration from other lines like Funko and the Hasbro comic series, and they've done what they're calling the storyboard series. So these are they're ships with monochrome paint apps that have got these bold lines that pick out the edges and dark areas of shadow, and they're quite stylized, quite interesting looking. And they've done 3 ships to commemorate the 40th year of Return of the Jedi. So there's an X-Wing, there's an A-Wing, and there's a TIE Interceptor. And I think they're quite a nice, fresh, interesting take on things. They're pretty cool looking, although they've really, really dropped the ball with the packaging, because I think that would have just elevated it so much had they used the actual storyboard sketches to better effect. So they do reference them. They do reference the storyboard out on the back of the boxes, but as it is, the front of them is pretty basic, and it could have been amazing, really premium, really desirable, and the way that these were presented would have absolutely had the potential to tip me over and go for these. So that's a real shame. They're a missed opportunity. I don't know whether everyone's seen these. I'm
looking at the X-Wing one now.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, different. I mean, I'd been scanned through this list and I'd completely overlooked those, but yeah, they are very different. I don't think anyone's done anything like that before.
No. So to be applauded, but maybe they can course correct. Maybe they're listening. Maybe they think Craig's got a really good point. Let's put those sketches on the front, because you can see it, can't you? You can just see it working so nicely with those really quick, loose, dynamic sketches. It'd be something really different for collectors, but at the minute, not to be. But maybe watch that space. And the other thing, just to end on, because it just tickled me, is the inflatable Black Santa fancy dress costume. Because it's just ridiculous. It's a knockout. It's the Belgians kind of way. They always make me smile. So yeah, so you can rock up to your next fancy dress party in an inflatable giant Wookiee.
Who is that? Is that Jazzwares as well? Is it?
That is Jazzwares as well. I didn't know they did those.
Yeah, they're going from
one
extreme to the other. Amazing. It feels like after a few years, obviously, of COVID and stuff like that, it feels like there's a big range of stuff again. But the one thing I have saved to the end, kind of accidentally on purpose, that we never covered in the main run of what we've just been through, was a vintage collection item.
I know what this is.
the holiday special Chewbacca. Yeah. Can you believe they've finally done it? Who's getting one? I'm getting one. 100% I'm getting that. I've got to get it. You've got to get one, Stu, because you've got the cuddly toy, right?
It's got a focus going on.
I have, and I agree with you. I mean, it'd be great in a Christmas display with my off-trooper with a stormtrooper snowman face.
It's a shame they haven't done a holiday special logo for it. It just says Star Wars, because then Jez would have to get one.
Yeah. No, agreed.
I think a holiday special. I think all of Chewbacca's family would be a really nice run, and I think it would sell really well.
But a bit cheap.
Seriously. Yeah.
But we're getting the main one. I don't know what's going on with his hands, though. His hands look peculiar. You mentioned that, didn't you, Pete? He looks a bit odd, but
they do look odd, yeah.
I can forgive that. The card pack's amazing.
So it can hold his ball, isn't it?
Just one of them.
just the shiny one.
One for each ball.
Oh, very good. So let's go around and out of all we've just been through, what would the one thing we'd buy that we haven't already pre-ordered? So I'm going to come to you first, Stu. Put you on the spot.
Oh dear, there's a few bits. It probably would be the dewback, although the holiday edition range of vintage collection would be right up there. Yeah, all day dewback, easy.
Very good. What about you, Jez?
Same as Stu. I'm liking the dewback. Stuart mentioned the holiday special characters as well, but for me, an honorary shout out. I know it's only July. Again, don't hate me, but the Star Wars Lego Advent Calendar. It's got me, it's got me smiling a little bit, looking forward, because I think we all enjoyed opening our Advent calendars last year, the little Funko ones. So, some good stuff this year. Iron Giant, it's all there. But the dewback.
What hot toy are you going to get, Pete?
I was just looking at them. Out of that list, probably the life-size, the Anzalian, the Babu Frick. I think that's quite fun. But,
you do actually really like that, don't you? It's about the fifth time you've mentioned it now.
I keep mentioning it.
I like that.
I'll send you a link for it, Pete.
It's definitely entering my top 3 that I'm on the cusp of buying.
I mean, that's a big first step into hot toys, isn't it?
What will that go for? Has that got a price yet?
I don't think it's gone up for pre-order yet. I haven't seen it anyways. I think they were just showing off steals.
Yeah.
You can't put a price on happiness, Pete.
I'll put that on my procrastination hot list. Hot toys hot list. I think the Yavin set's good as well.
That's that. Cool, yeah, nice.
Lego set. So yeah, probably those two.
Nice. And Craig?
I do like the Shag Jabber, which is as we discussed a little bit out of reach, but definitely the retro collection Mon Mothma.
I go with the Mon Mothma. I'm going to go with the episode 1 retro collection figures. I'm super excited for those. Any other business or any other thoughts before we close out?
I'd urge people to go and check out the unboxings. Like I say, there's been a bit of flurry of those. They're nice ways of just going a little bit deeper on some of the things we talked about, and they're all 4 modern ones, aren't they? The last ones we've done. So,
well, we should check back in with Jez actually. He's finished up with his hot toy. He smashed his Lego again.
Well, so I got Luke with his lightsaber in his hand, but not illuminated, on the plinth with the extra bit added to it, not illuminated, looking really good. Looking amazing. I can't fault the packaging and everything else which comes with it. I'm staring at, just for people who are aware, an additional right arm, which I'm yet to open up to put the batteries in, which will be able to illuminate a lightsaber. And it's got its blaster pistol in its holster. I've got a spare lightsaber, which I'm not using. Spare lightsaber attached to the other arm. And what else have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 additional hands with various different poses, and the additional hair sculpt and an additional lightsaber blade. So all sorts of stuff for me to be playing with. Dan, can I just ask you, do you have yours displayed with blaster in hand or lightsaber?
I've got him with a lightsaber and a 2-handed pose with a blaster put away in the holster. I tell you what, those USB bases are great because I'm going to get an extra long lead for mine because I've got all my Deltos lit up. I'm going to wire it all into all of that and get it plugged in. So when I switch the lights on, the base lights up as well. And everything. With all of these things, you've got to open your cupboards up. You've got to switch everything on individually. But with this, you should just press one button. You can have everything light up. Yeah. Brilliant.
I'm loving it. I'm really pleased. So thanks everyone for encouraging me over this last year to buy a hot toy.
Brilliant. And Stu, did you say you've opened up your Fennec Shan?
Half. Yeah, she's amazing. I've had a look at her. I haven't got it positioned yet. So, Jez, I mean, you've delved into hot toys now. What are you looking at for your second one?
It's a marathon, not a sprint. I'm going to... I don't know. There will be a second.
Yeah.
There will be. Yeah.
There is another.
Yeah. Do I go with one to sort of, from a scene point of view?
You need a Darth Vader to go alongside that Luke.
Yeah. I probably do. What have you done? Yeah, I probably do.
There's oh look, have you seen the massive sale on the Hot Toys Facebook page.
They sent me 10% off and 15% off all the time.
Kylo Ren down to 130 quid. It's a great price.
I got Ahsoka, the new Ahsoka for Mando for 160 quid with some codes. So I should be getting that very soon. But anyway, shall we wrap this up? So that is the end of another show, but if you want more Generation Skywalker between shows, we are all over social media. We have a presence on Facebook, Instagram, and now Threads. Just search Generation Skywalker to find us. If you want to interact directly with us, the hosts between shows and other listeners, then join the We Are Generation Skywalker Facebook page. It's a private group, but just ask to join and one of us will let you in. You can search Generation Skywalker on YouTube, where you will find enhanced versions of many of our shows and other content, including unboxings. And if you can't remember any of that, head over to generationskywalker.com for links to all of our shows, content, socials, and blogs. Thanks so much for listening. But for this month, it's goodbye from Craig.
Cheerio.
It's goodbye from Pete.
Nice one. Cheers, guys.
It's goodbye from Jez.
See you next time.
I thought he was going to get a chow.
Yeah, I thought about it.
And it's goodbye from Stu.
See you later. Oh, it feels weird saying goodbye, doesn't it?
And it's goodbye from me. We are Generation Skywalker. All errors, all passions, all Star Wars.